y'all feel? How y'all feel? Facebook, salute, salute. YouTube, salute, salute. Appreciate y'all, man. Even if you're checking for a little bit. It's your boy, Coach White. This is Coach Class with Coach tonight. And that rhymes. Let me let TikTok in the building. TikTok, TikTok, salute, salute. We're actually going to, and I need to change the time that I see for the coach class. It says 8 to 9. It should be 8 to 8:30. Um, so I'm going to change that. So pardon me. TikTok, salute. Thank you guys for those that will check in, even if you check in for a little bit. This is Coach Class with Coach. This is week 31, although we first got started, pardon me, when we first got started, I wasn't counting the weeks. So we actually been flowing for some time, man. So thank you guys that check in. And this is all recorded and sent back out. And I'm lying, it's not sent back out. I used to send it out another day during the week for those that may miss it. But now I just put it on my YouTube channel so you can check it out at your leisure. All right. So hope you do that and give me some feedback. That would be pretty cool. We're actually going to do part 2. We started something last week that we're looking to finish today for Coach Class. And I think this falls under the category of interpersonal relationship development. So hang in there if you can, man. Let's go over some quick announcements before we get started. I'll do the social media and book announcements toward the end. This is the season for our playground challenges. So if your youth are 17 and under, and if you live in the Baltimore and surrounding areas, please send me a DM. Our first one was last Saturday, and we had a ball. Man, I had them out there working out. We did our little 15-minute jog. We stretched real good. Had some mats for the youth. The weather was pretty nice. So we grabbed our mats. We went out. We did some push-up variations. We did some jumping jacks. We did some sit-up variations. Man, and the youth felt really strong when they were done. Parents, I got y'all. Please send me a DM. It don't cost you a dime. And then we got to the playground portion. I had them doing some races. Played a little game of tag. Red light, green light. We just had a really, really good time, man. It was a fun vibe. So again, if you're in the Baltimore or surrounding areas, please send me a DM. We're gonna have 2 scheduled for May. And the days will be announced. Met some really good families out there. So yeah, man. The playground challenges will run us from May to the end of September. And we're gonna do 2 a month. So please get with me, send me a message. And I would love to serve your youth in that way. We've had a really, really good time. So I'll be posting some videos soon for you guys to check out. Also, I'm expanding my membership. So I got a special running right now where you pay $175 up front and you pay $50 a month and you get at least 2 coaching sessions per month, or you pay $150 up front and $75 a month and you get at least 2 coaching sessions per month from yours truly. So if you're interested, shoot me a message and I'll call you within 24 hours. I promise. Also, we have every Sunday, if you want to strengthen your spiritual muscles, tune in from 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are walking through the book of Hebrews. And I think we're on chapter 24 of chapter 24 verse. We're on chapter 9, verse 24. So we're taking a deep dive into that verse by verse. We're studying that for a year and 6 months, verse by verse through the book of Hebrews. So if you're interested, tune in on Sundays from 12 to 1. All right. Also, if we're not connected on social media, let me share my screen. For those that may be on TikTok right now, you won't be able to see the presentation. You're going to have to venture over to my YouTube channel and check out the presentations. We'll share my screen real quick. So this is where I house the coach classes and the Bible studies. Okay. So jump on in here, man. And you have access to my coaching calendar if you scan this QR code. And we're not connected on social media. You can click right here. And you could connect with me on IG, TikTok, or Facebook. All right. And we have a No Funerals event coming up that will be on the Gallery That Tells Your Story channel, and that will be available late July. So I'll be sending some previews of that documentary of yours truly that will be out by the end of July. All right. Let me stop sharing here. Also, we have books for sale. Hold on 1 second, Brody. I'm going to let you in 1 sec. We have, my wife's really dope poetic novel, 50 Shades of She. If you love poetry, this one is for you. Again, available on Amazon and Kindle. Really deep, man. Really proud of my wife, man. She did a good job on this project. It's a lot of deep poetry depicting her experiences with domestic violence. And shout out to our domestic violence survivors. We do not take that lightly at all. So yeah, check out the book, 50 Shades of She. All right. And then we have I Do, I Did, and It Didn't. We have that available on Amazon and Kindle as well. And this is what that book cover looks like. Again, shout out to Taisha, Anastasia, and Rock, who assisted me with that project. Really appreciate you guys. All right. So you can check that out. Also, we have Forsaking All Others, Aiden and Nicole. If you guys, when you go to Amazon, make sure you just don't put in Forsaking All Others. Add Aiden and Nicole, and this will come up part of Aiden's journey. This is the first part of that series, which is a 3-part series. So you can check that out again on Amazon and Kindle. And then we have The Invisible Marriage. Here's what that cover looks like. Yes, you can be in the marriage and be invisible in the marriage. So this is part 2 of Aiden's journey. So you can check that out as well on Amazon and Kindle and give us some feedback. All right. And I think that's about it. Let me let Brody in. my co-host, my brother from the same mother. Salute, Chant. Let me turn your volume up and let you in the room. Hold on 1 second. There we go. What's going on, bro? How you feel? How you feel?
Good and grateful, bro. We good with you.
Man, you know I'm still smiling over here, man. Through it all. That's what we do.
Yeah, I see. I meant to hit you earlier. Seen the picture you post. The picture you post. I'm like, my man. Look at my man. Nice.
Oh,
Got
yeah, yeah.
like look.
Yeah.
I'm like, look at bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll do it to you.
Yeah, man. We had a
It'll
call,
do it to
brother.
you, bro. It'll do it to you, boy. Oh man.
Yeah,
Ain't
dope,
nothing
man.
like him. I
Yeah, we
say ain't
had a
nothing
really
like
good
him.
time, man. Really good
Ain't
time.
nothing like him.
Yep. Good. I'm glad your day went well, though. We're going to dive into part two of this topic we on. Is Bree joining us today?
I just sent her a text.
Okay. All
To
right.
see if
If
she
she's
gonna
able.
hop on.
Got it. Okay. All
I
right. Let's
should
get
have.
back into. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Now you good? Yeah, I just sent it to her. So here's it.
Okay. All right. She does. She does. If not, it's cool. Everything happens the way it's supposed to. All right. Let's get back into this. Is the quote we gave last week, and we're gonna stay with this quote, man. This quote says a lot. And again, I'm gonna read it 3 times. 2 times for the people up front. 1 time for the people in the back. This is from Felicia Rashad. She says, "You have to learn how to care about people without taking on all of their problems. You have to learn how to take care of." Sorry, let me start over. You have to learn how to take care or how to care about people without taking on all of their problems. One more time for the people in the back. Felicia Rashad said, "You have to learn how to take care." Why I keep saying that? Blip. You have to learn how to care about people without taking on all of their problems. All right. So this quote leads us into the article that we will continue for today. All right. Put you on mute real quick, big brother, so we ain't getting the background flavor. All right, there we go. All right, I'm gonna share my screen. Let's get back into this article. And if you join us for the first time, I'm a big fan of psychology today. This article is was written by Dr. Jennifer Kulaskar, if I'm pronouncing her name right. And the title is My Problem or Yours. So this is where we are. She says, and I read some of this last week, so we're going to pick up where we left off, but I'm going to give you I'm going to back up a little bit and walk into something. She says, "I spent years trying to crack this anger shame cycle and concluded that much of it could be mitigated if I compartmentalize which emotional reactions were my responsibility and which were the other person's." All right, so we're going to look at this. I actually had time to pull this up. This anger, guilt, shame cycle. Check this out. This is very, very interesting. Pull this up for you. All right. Make sure I'm sharing here. Let me share. Okay. Check this out. Now, I didn't develop this presentation, and I say that because if you look very closely, you have a misspelled word, which my grandmother would have a problem with, being an English teacher. So, step one in this cycle is that people are triggered, right? And it says that guilt itself is the trigger. So it's when you feel guilty about what's going on in the moment. Look at number 2. After you feel guilty, and guilt is your trigger response. So you're triggered by something, and then there's the trigger response, which is guilt. But then, if you look at number 2 here, the guilt becomes what? It becomes anger. To not go into guilt, anger steps in. So check this out. To not go into guilt, anger steps in. So this is a secondary response to the trigger. The first response is the guilt. The second response is the anger. And then it goes into number 3. Guilt. Since you believe anger is bad, you end up feeling guilty for the anger. And then, number 4, the last step, the unhealthy, guilty reinforces shame. So you're triggered, and then your trigger response is guilt. You feel guilty. And then you get angry for feeling guilty. And then, since you believe anger is bad, you feel guilty again for being angry. So you go from guilt, you go from the offense to whatever it is, which is the trigger, and your trigger response is guilt. So you go from guilt to anger, and then you go from anger back to guilt. And then you end up feeling shame for feeling guilty. Isn't that interesting? The trigger to becoming angry because you're triggered, and the anger takes you right into guilt, and you feel guilty for being angry. And then you feel shame for feeling guilty. So I wanted to share that diagram on the presentation so you guys could get a visual for how this happens. Now let's give it some context. Let's go back to the article here. So I'm going to share my screen again. Check this out. All right, so again, she says, I spent years trying to crack this anger shame cycle and concluded that much of it could be mitigated if I compartmentalized which emotional reactions were my responsibility and which were the other person's. And then she gives an example. She said, while Angie, Greg, and Carla's distress are their problems to cope with, the issues others were having with them are theirs. And we covered that last class. Sure, there are plenty of people who don't take enough responsibility for the pain they cause others. Here, though, I focus on the difficulties that emerge when people like me, she says, lean too far in the other direction of making others' emotions their problem. So I'm going to highlight that for a minute. We covered that a little bit last week. And I want to show you this on the chalkboard. Check this out. Let's go to the chalkboard real quick. Okay. So here what I wrote, the article highlights people. Oh, they want to move it. See if I can. Hold on. Let me do this. It's not what I wanted. Okay, it's a little large. People who don't take enough responsibility for the pain they cause others. So you have that on one side of the coin. And then you have the people who make others' emotions their problem. And what she's trying to mitigate in this article is how we can balance the two. How we can come right in the middle. Because we don't want to be the people who don't take enough responsibility for the pain that we cause others. But we also don't want to be the people who make others' emotions our problem. So I love the way she hashed this out in the illustration she provided in this article. So I'll stop sharing. Let's go back to the article. She said, we have trouble distinguishing when others' negative reactions toward us are their problem. And we believe that if we don't concern ourselves with their emotions, we will come off as uncaring. And if you're paying attention, you can see how this feeds into that anger, guilt, shame cycle. She says, ironically, though, this kind of thinking fuels resentment, which is poison for relationships. It does so by setting the stage for constructing a story of being a victim oppressed by others' excessive demands, or blaming yourself for their problems and believing you have to make up for it by appeasing them. Man, listen, I made a shirt that says, I will no longer be a slave to other people's expectations. If you're not careful, that can happen. You get so caught up in how they're feeling that how they feel becomes your problem. And we have to really learn how to balance that. If not, it leads to an unhealthy relationship dynamic. If you're with me, say I'm with you. Then she says, signs that you are creating this kind of story, listen to this, include obsessing about interactions with the individuals involved, feeling resentment and bitterness, and having a lot of, quote, why me thoughts, such as, why do I put in more effort and still get the most flack? Generally, she says, I found that allowing people to own their problems is a gift to all involved. It means you can channel your urge to care by caring enough to give others the freedom to manage their own issues. Then she gets into this whole allowing others to own their problems inspires radical openness, which is a philosophical principle from radically open dialectical behavior therapy that is important for mental health. It entails being curious about how others see the world and questioning your perceptions without excessive self-criticism or defensively reacting to others. And then she gives a really good example within a parental relationship dynamic. She says, an example of how compartmentalizing problems can strengthen relationships came into play recently with my 9-year-old daughter. Listen to this. She says, I offered her French toast for breakfast, and she was fine with it. However, she got upset later that morning when she realized she had ordered French toast for school lunch that day as well. She heatedly said she was going to skip lunch, and I said that was okay because she could eat when she got home. Listen to this. I thought you would care more about me, she exclaimed. I calmly told her I was giving her the freedom to choose when and what she ate. Did you hear that? And you can marry this to any relationship dynamic. When you give people options and their response is, I thought you cared about me. Listen to how she responded. I calmly told her I was giving her the freedom to choose when and what she ate. Later that day, she told me that she enjoyed eating French toast twice in one day and joked with her friends that she might ask me to make it for dinner too. Getting over self-doubt and holding your values close to your heart can help. In this case, I focus on helping my child become more resilient. Caring without taking on others' problems takes time and patience. Then she highlights 3 pointers that I absolutely love so that you avoid getting into this trap. Number 1, and then we'll close. Practice freeing self-talk. Practice freeing self-talk. While hurtful behavior might warrant action, allowing people to own their thoughts and feelings is liberating, even when those problems are with you and you believe them to be inaccurate or unfair. Tell yourself, my frustration is valid, and at the same time, I can allow them to think what they want to think. And she uses the example of openly communicating with others about how their behaviors are impacting you, or setting boundaries. And in some cases, you may have to distance yourself. All right. Number 2, accept the inevitability of lost expectations. We learn certain expectations for relationships early in life, such as expecting that when we give others our time and attention, they should reciprocate. The reality is, she says, that friendships do not always meet our expectations. And it is okay to take time to acknowledge that this is painful. All right. And then number 3, practice forgiveness and self-compassion. Practice forgiveness and self-compassion. Both can help soothe the sting of resentment and help you remember that what others think does not reflect on who you are authentically. The loving kindness meditation is an example of an intervention that focuses on sending feelings of kindness to oneself and others, and has been shown to enhance self-compassion. Allowing others to own their problems is generally relationship enhancing. But if you continue to be treated poorly, the best course of action might be to make a beeline for kinder people. Moreover, she says, showing gratitude for those who already treat you well will help you live more authentically and feel better emotionally. This is a really, really good article that you guys can add to your library. Again, it's called My Problem or Yours. All right. And I just realized I wasn't sharing that part, so I apologize. All right. Any questions? Well, I'm going to give it over to you, Brody, in a minute. If you guys have any questions, TikTok, Facebook, you can text it, and I'll make sure I get back to you. Sorry for not sharing the last part of that article, but let me expand my screen. Brody, I'm going to bring you up so you can unmute yourself, or I'll unmute you. And we can close out for the day. Let me turn the volume up too. All right, there you go. Any thoughts? Any feedback? Any wisdom you want to share before we close out today?
What they say? Stop expecting, start accepting.
Yes, sir.
Change. It's the expectation with appreciation. You know?
Okay. Yeah,
And
yeah.
is it all how you look at it? Like I look at everybody that I come in contact with is there for a reason. So something I can. Everybody you meet knows something that you don't. So something I can learn. So we get so caught up in these relationships and certain things like that. We get so caught up and we forget like something for you to learn that. So be grateful. It's we always go back. It's just I get it, but it's like that ain't gonna help. So you might as well ain't gonna help them. So you might as well just look at the bright side of it and take like it's good. It's there to help you evolve. How can it be bad if it's there to help you evolve? That person is there to help you evolve in some type of way.
Yes, sir.
So take what you can learn from that. Remain kind, and because how you treat them is a reflection of yourself. So
yes, sir.
I don't care what they do. They can do whatever they want to do. The thing is, why you allowing that? Why you standing that? So that's again goes back to you. So you have to check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Yeah. That's what it's all good, brother.
You know?
Yeah.
So you check, they're there to help you evolve, though. Just look at the bright side of it. Life is short. So
yes, sir. Absolutely, man. Appreciate the wisdom, good brother.
always, bro.
All right. I'm gonna minimize my screen. We're gonna close out. Sorry, we went a couple minutes over, guys, and sorry I didn't realize I wasn't sharing until the end. TikTok, guys, thank you for joining. Lord willing, see you guys next week. Peace. All right. Facebook, YouTube. See you guys next week, man. All right. Have a great week on purpose.